So we'll chant the Mangalacharan prayers and then start. Om Ajnanatirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Gurau Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakha Vitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindho Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute. Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Brinda Baneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhaya patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Mukham karoti vachalam pangum langayate giram yat kripa tamaham vande Shri Guru Deenataranam. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamiti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashadesha Tarine. So Hare Krishna, we'll continue with the next part of our Saturday Satsanga after the Kirtan, which is a talk. So it's already 7:30, so I think we'll have a very short talk today. For what?
Just continuing the program. Short and invigorating talk.
What's your name, Prabhu?
Anand.
Anand. So today we'll discuss about one of the prayers of Queen Kunti. So our founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, when he was in Los Angeles, every day he would give lectures on the prayers of Queen Kunti. And later he asked his disciples to convert that into a book. So now we have a book on the teachings and prayers of Queen Kunti that was, delivered in Los Angeles. ISKCON New Dwarka, Rukmini Dwarkadhish. You have been there, everyone? Been there, yeah. So recently we had a Rath Yatra, such a wonderful, Rath Yatra in Los Angeles, and there were around 12,000 books that were distributed, while the Ratha was being carried from Main Street and one more intersection and to the Venice boardwalk to the beach. So such an amazing festival. So we'll discuss about the prayers of Queen Kunti. So as we know that Mother Kunti, she offered a lot of prayers to Krishna, which to us may seem like extreme. Mother Kunti was praying to Krishna to give me more and more troubles, right? But they may seem like something which is not possible for us. We cannot really pray to Krishna to give us, problems so that we can remember him. It is very difficult for us. So unless we are very advanced devotee and we are transcendental to the influence, we cannot pray with the heart of Mother Kunti, right? So, but at the same time, when we look at the example of such great devotees, it's an aspiration for us. It's a goal that, okay, we have to, reach to that level. So, and great personalities have actually reached the destination by praying in such a way, and that is like a compass, a GPS for us that gives us the direction, how the cloudy sky is, how we can navigate through the cloudy sky. So, and Srila Prabhupada himself, he gives the example through his personal example when he was in the Jaladuta, MV Jaladuta, he was across the Arabian Sea and later he came across the Atlantic Ocean. So there were a lot of terrible storms and there was an ocean, such a huge ocean, and there is no sun, there is no stars, there are all clouds. Then how do you know the direction? Because generally direction you can tell by looking at the stars, right? North pole or whatever the main star is there, pole star. But it was dark, stormy, cloudy. It was very difficult to see what direction the ship should go. And the waves were tossing in both direction, and the captain of the ship is the one who controls the ship, right? So Srila Prabhupada and the captain became very good friends. So Srila Prabhupada would teach him about Lord Krishna, and he would also ask the captain, how do you navigate the ship? He learned that from the captain. And he asked that you cannot see anything and still you are going in the right direction. So what this tells us that however expert we are, in life we have so many different things, but in the storm we are still dependent on the compass, right? We may say we don't need any help, we can just go on our own, but no, we need the compass. So similarly, Kali Yuga, this time, is an ocean of fault. It's an ocean of quarrel and hypocrisy. And there are a lot of situations and challenges that will come in our life that can destroy our goal, whatever we are aiming for, whatever is our aspiration. And sometimes things will go the way we like, and sometimes, many times they will not. So, and when things are going in the way we like to do, there is a temptation to enjoy it, right? Or also we become complacent to the goal of life. Whatever are the higher principles, we become very much complacent when things are going our way. So that is also a very dangerous situation. And when everything is going good, then whatever spiritual practices, sadhana we are doing, chanting, reading, associating with devotees, sometimes they become like distractions. Why should I do this? Everything is going good in my life. I have good inflow of money coming in, I have nice house, I have my family, everything is good. Then why should I spend my time in spiritual practice? Why should I chant, or why should I associate with devotees or go to the temple? So that also becomes a distraction when things are going good. And when people are in difficulty, then they pray to God, right? And worship and do puja, so that this worship removes the crisis, whatever one is facing. And once the crisis is removed, I don't need God. Done. It's like God is like order carrier. One pizza, one pasta. I got it, now I don't need you. So good times can be distraction to our spiritual life, and difficult times can also be a great distraction to our spiritual life. And we ask these questions, why is it happening to me? What did I do? And what did they do, or what did we do? So many questions will come when something goes wrong. So, and Kunti faced so many challenges since her childhood, right? And since childhood she was like, she was married, she had a husband, she had kids, and her husband died, as you know, Pandu died. And the children also faced so much problems. They were sent to exile. The Pandavas, along with Kunti, they had to go out in the forest and live for so many years. And there were assassination attempts on the whole family by Duryodhana and company. Right? So she is praying with humility and gratitude. That she says, my dear Krishna, when I see you, I do not have to see birth and death. So she does a very beautiful prayer in the Bhagavatam. It says, Vipda Shantuta Sashvat Tatra Tatra Jagat Guru Bhavato Darshanam Yat Syat Apunar Bhava Darshanam. She says, I wish that all those calamities would happen again and again so that we could see you again and again. For seeing you means that we will no longer see repeated births and deaths. So she is asking for so that she can see Krishna again and again. Such a situation where she can actually see Krishna, and when she sees Krishna, then there is no longer birth and death. But for us, you know, when calamity happens, we don't want to pray like that. That Krishna give me more calamities. Does anyone pray like that? I don't pray like that. Maybe some of you can. But yeah. So, although it was so much disturbing and painful for Kunti, you know, but she was praying like this. And someone asked Srila Prabhupada, how can we pray for calamity like Queen Kunti? Because Queen Kunti was praying for calamities, then how should we pray for that? Srila Prabhupada was asked this question by one of the disciples. So Srila Prabhupada says, you don't have to ask for calamity because there are already so many calamities in this world. Right? Ah Brahma Bhuvana Loka Punaravartino Arjuna. There are, you know, Adi Bhautik, Adhyatmik, Adi Devik, Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadi. So many difficulties are already there. You don't have to ask. Right? Huh?
That's what Kali Yuga means.
Kali Yuga, that's what it means. Ah Brahma Bhuvana Loka. From this planet to the Brahma Loka, all are places of misery, Krishna is telling in the Bhagavad Gita. Ah Brahma Bhuvana Loka Punaravartino Arjuna. And then also Bhagavatam says, Padam Padam Vipadam Natesham. At every step, even between steps, there is danger. Right? I was watching a video today, and there was a man who was fishing. It was little snow, and he was fishing and sitting there. And where the place where he was sitting, a big shark came and just ate him. So obviously it's a instant karma reaction, you know. He was fishing the fish, and the fish fished him. Fish was fishing him. So Kunti is not really praying for dangers, but the reason she is praying for dangers is so that she can become Krishna conscious. Her main goal is not to become, you know, get into troubles. You know, she's not a trouble monger or want to get into a lot of. Her main goal of these prayers is that she can take shelter of Ishvara, Bhagwan, Sri Krishna. And from Chaitanya Charitamrita we know the beautiful story of Haridas Thakur. He was also praying like Queen Kunti. How he was praying? He was there is a pastime where, you know, he was with some of the people, and these people were in the prison. So Haridas Thakur was a very elevated devotee. Everybody knew that Haridas Thakur is Namacharya. You know, he was chanting 192 rounds of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra every day, right? So Haridas Thakur was a very elevated personality, so everybody was taking shelter of Haridas Thakur, and they were taking shelter of him, and they were looking like a helpless child and praying for the blessings of Haridas Thakur. So, and when they were seeking for blessings, Haridas Thakur said, may you remain as you are. And they were shocked. We are in the prison, so do you want us to continue be in the prison? So, because basically their goal was to get out of the prison. They wanted a blessing that we should get out of the prison. But Haridas Thakur said, may you continue to be as you are right now. So, then he smiled and he said that I gave you a very good blessing since you are turning to a devotee for blessing and not fighting but seeking shelter through God's grace. My blessing is that you remain like this, because in a few days you will be released from the prison, and once you are released you will start enjoying outside, right? And then you will be distracted in the material energy. So after you are released and you are with families, may you remain like this and take shelter of Krishna. May you take shelter of Krishna's grace, God's grace. And today you are feeling so much urgency, you have that hunger to see God's grace, to see Krishna's grace. So therefore, I bless you that you always take shelter of a devotee. You always remain so. He didn't mean that you stay in the prison, but he meant that you continue taking shelter of Krishna's devotee. So same things, what Haridas Thakur is teaching, that whatever situation, whether you are in the prison or you are in difficulty, you take shelter of Krishna and his devotee. And this is what Kunti Devi is teaching, right? In calamities, whatever situation she is in, whether there are assassination attempts or she is sent to the forest, she was always remembering Krishna. So these prayers of Kunti Devi, Prahlad Maharaj, they are like compass, they are like direction for us. And although we may not be there, we may not be so advanced or elevated devotees, and we cannot imitate, or we may not, be a prematured Paramhansa, we cannot act like that. But they are a compass to us. So whether there is sunny day or stormy day, we must keep our minds and words and actions with the direction of that compass of our life. What is the compass? What is the goal that we have to pursue? That is very important, because both the good and bad are actually very big distractions. So Kunti is grateful to take shelter, and more sincerely we take shelter the more we feel the presence of Shri Shri Radha Giridhari. When whatever kirtan we are doing, kirtan is an expression of our devotion, our love. When we sing from our heart, when we chant from our heart, whether we are doing chanting or we are, Prabhu is doing kirtan here, when it is done with love and devotion, the more it is done with love and devotion, the more shelter we can take and the more reciprocation we get from Shri Shri Radha Giridhari. And when we do not feel the presence, when we are praying, the more urgent we feel to take shelter of Krishna. Many times it happens, we are praying but we are not feeling any presence or reciprocation. So that means that is the time to be more serious and more urgent. And the important direction in our life is Guru, Sadhu and Shastra. These three should be our compass where we can take shelter of. So one more verse Kunti Maharani speaks is Janma Ishwarya Shruti Shibir Edhamana Madha Puman Ne Varhati Abhidhatum Vai Tvam Akinchina Gocharam. She says, my Lord, your Lordship can easily be approached but only by those who are materially exhausted. One who is on the path of material progress, trying to improve himself with respectable parentage, great opulence, high education, bodily beauty, cannot approach you with sincere feelings. These are the things like high parentage, great opulence, great education, great wealth. Generally these things have a tendency to make us feel that we are better than others. I have a Tesla car, or I have a bigger house, 5-bedroom house with a big backyard. I am better than him, he just lives in the apartment. Right? That is not people, all these things make us feel better than others. I am superior than others. So, and when we take pride and we try to, feel that we are better than them, then the sound vibration of Krishna cannot really enter our heart. It blocks the penetration into our heart, and we cannot chant the holy name in the proper state of mind. So Kunti Maharani is saying that, my dear Krishna, you are the property of the ones who are impoverished. Right? So these things, like, it is good to have big house, it is good to have big car and everything, but these things are not disqualifications, but the tendency to be proud of them and feel that I am better than others, is a disqualification. We can have a big house, we can have many cars, but we should also have the right attitude, respecting those also who do not have, and understanding that whatever we have is by the grace of Krishna. Yes, we may have done a lot of effort, we may have put, but there are a lot of other factors that are also involved, right? So anything we have and whoever we are, and it distracts us to take God's name with feelings, is a distraction. So if we are not able to chant properly or take association of devotees, that is actually a distraction. And as we know, there is a beautiful example. There is a Radhe Shyam Prabhu gives a very nice example that once one of his friends was admitted into the hospital, and the doctor said, I cured your friend. And this devotee was thanking Krishna, Krishna, thank you, you saved my friend. This devotee said, who's Krishna? I saved your friend. I did the surgery, I did the operation. Where did Krishna come into picture? So this devotee was, he didn't say anything for some time. And then he said, my dear doctor, how many people die in your hospital? How many surgeries you might have done, or the other doctors might have done, that patients die? He said, many people die every day. Then does that mean you are the murderer? You are responsible? He said, no, God wanted him to die, that's why he died. When you cure him, then it's you. And when the patient dies, then it's Krishna. What kind of balance is this? What kind of logic is this? It's a totally flawed logic, right? There's a lot of illogic argument in this. And there was another doctor in the same hospital. He said, do your best and leave the rest to God. So yes, doctors do the best they could, but ultimately, a lot of Krishna tells in the Bhagavad Gita, there are various factors that assist in a particular action. So it's not just your effort. And even the abilities, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, I am the ability among the men. Even that skill that you have got, how is it coming? That intelligence, that skill, that intuition, so many things are there. It is said in astrology, who's a good astrologer? There are so many astrologers, right? But who's a good astrologer? It is said that you may study mathematically, the stars and zodiac signs, these 12 zodiac signs and the movement of these planets and this and that mathematically. But a good astrologer is the one who, after looking all these mathematical calculations, gets also an intuition, from the Lord within his heart, that what is going to happen. And that is based on his character, on the principles that he lives by. So all these factors actually integrate to for a good astrologer. Actually, it's not just that anybody can become an astrologer. He can just predict. It will not come true. So yeah, some things may come true, but like advanced predictions and all those things are rare. So you need to be living that life of purity and surrender to Krishna. Then he will give that intelligence, that intuition to you. Yeah, so, and we see from these prayers that in Vrindavan we had 6 Goswamis, 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan who were living in poverty, but they were always in the love of gopis. So there is the other contrast here. One side, Yudhishthir Maharaj was the king of the world, right? He was coronated the king after the Kurukshetra war. He is Akinchana Gochar. Although he had the biggest kingdom, but he said, I am impoverished, I don't have anything Krishna. Because whatever he had, he said, it's the property of Krishna. Krishna, it's yours. Idam Krishna, idam na mama. Nothing is mine, everything is for you, Krishna. I am just the caretaker. I am caretaker of my praja, of my citizens. I am the caretaker of this big palace. I am the caretaker of all these citizens and villages or towns or whatever it is. Same as Lord Ramchandra, Maryada Purushottam Ram. Right? So Lord Ram was not only talking to the ministers, he was talking to even the sweepers. That is a true leader, quality of a true leader. So through his example, he established, what is a true king. He was not attached to the kingdom at the promise of his, whatever promise his father made. He just left the kingdom without arguing anything. He could have come back when Dashrath Maharaj died. He didn't come back because he really didn't wanted anything for himself. He only wished good for others.
I have one question.
Yes.
If Ram was a good character for the human, then why Sita has to go with that Agni Pariksha, the fire?
Yeah. So that has multiple reasons. First reason is when Ravana came to kidnap Mother Sita. It is given in one of the Purana. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explains about it. When Ravan came to kidnap Mother Sita, so obviously Mother Sita is the goddess of fortune. Nobody can kidnap Sita, Srimati Radha, and nobody can kidnap them. So she went inside and she actually entered into fire, and Maya Sita came out. And Ravana actually did not kidnap the real Sita, he kidnapped Maya Sita. And when the Agni Pariksha was done, then the Maya Sita went inside and actual Sita came out. So that is one thing. And second thing is, obviously, Ram, to prove to others, right? Because there were a lot of people there, and it was, in those days, it was custom that if a woman is outside the home for even one night, right, then people will not accept her. So just to prove to those, as a leader, just to prove and be a good leader, he did that. But it is not like he didn't have trust or he didn't believe in Mother Sita. He had full faith and full trust in Mother Sita, and Mother Sita also is, he's one Patni Vrata, and Mother Sita is also so chaste for Lord Ram. When she was in Ashok Vatika, Ravana gave her so many allurements, right? That I'll give you this, that, and he would every day send Rakshasis singing the glories of Ravana, so that she develops a love for Ravana. But you know what happened when Ravana came to propose Mother Sita said beautiful things, and which Ravana actually pierced his heart. What she said is, "My dear Ravana, you are trying to cross an ocean with a stone tied around your neck while you are proposing me," right? And she said that you are on a razor's edge. You are, like your tongue on the razor's edge, something like that, while you are speaking all these things. And she also threw a grass towards him. So what that meant is that Lord Ram will come, and just like this grass, he will shoot his arrow to you and you will die. And so many different meanings of, that grass is given in the scriptures, that your proposal, what you are proposing, this Lanka and this, everything is like grass to me. It doesn't mean anything. It has no value. I am just surrendered to Lord Ram. And then she said that just like the sun evaporates the water, similarly when my Lord Ram comes, he will evaporate your life air with his baan. Prananath na share. Share means the tir. And yeah, she never gave in to Ravan's proposal, whatever he was enticing, allurements. She never gave in. She was so dedicated to Lord Ram. So it is just to set an example, because whatever the leader does, general public follows. If you remember, when we were kids, we were watching some Hollywood or Bollywood actors or movies, right? Whatever they would do, we will follow, right? Whatever hairstyle they will have, whatever action they will do, we'll try to follow that, right? But if we if we had good leaders like Lord Ram and Krishna, if kids are given that exposure, then they will follow them. So similarly, Lord Ram is a leader. So by his example, he is teaching others. Otherwise, what will happen? People will misuse, this thing that, they will allow this thing to happen. That, okay, we can send women out and it's okay, something like that. In those days, it was like very, women were given so much protection, so much love, so much care, just like a diamond is kept in a safe, right? So, and obviously women have their own independence too, that time also, but it doesn't mean that we should not protect them. So, yeah. Does it answer your question, Prabhu? Yeah. So, yeah, anyone has your comments, any comments or questions, Prabhu?
Good. Lot of, I was not aware of these prayers of Kunti Devi. Right? That was very new to me. Yes.
Yeah, very beautiful prayers, and they give us the direction, where we should go.
Is it given Bhagavatam or somewhere else?
Srimad Bhagavatam, yeah, prayers of Queen Kunti. So very beautiful. Yes, Prabhu. Yeah.
Ravan was like intelligent.
What?
Intelligent.
Very intelligent. Yeah.
Devotee of Lord Shiva. But why do you think he did that? Why he kidnapped Sita? What was his mean line to do for that? And he knows he's not going to get Mata Sita.
Yeah.
What was his purpose to do that?
Yeah, very good question. So why Ravan did what he did, correct? So number one is his sister Shurpanakha, right? She went to propose Lord Ram, and Lord Ram said, I am already married to Mother Sita, and she went to Lakshman, and then Lakshman also said no. So then she tried to attack on Mother Sita, saying that you are an obstruction for me in getting Lord Ram, so let me kill you. When she went to attack Mother Sita, Lakshman immediately with his sword, he cut off his nose, Nashik. So the nose fell in a place, and that place still there, Nashik in India, Maharashtra. So, and there's a forest, where all this happened. These places still there. So then Shurpanakha went to Ravan. She said, then I have to revenge Lord Ram. So what she did is she played a plot. She played a trick. She manipulated the facts. She went to Ravana, and she said, there is a very beautiful woman, and that woman is fit to be your wife. So why don't you go and take her? So she is acting like advertisement industry, When we see any advertisement, when we see a movie trailer, what happens? When we are seeing with our eyes, hearing through our ears, right? Then dhyayato vishya pumsa sangateshu pujayate sangat sanjayate kama kama krodha vijayate. So when we are seeing through our senses, when we hear something, these advertisements, that it gets stuck into our mind, right? The thoughts get stored, and then we keep thinking about it, and then we get attached to them. And when we get attached to them, we want to get those things. If we don't get those things, what happens? We become angry. Why I didn't get those things? Right? Same thing happened to Ravana. When Shurpanakha went to Ravana and said, beautiful woman is there, he was hearing her glories continuously, Sita's glory. Ravana was hearing. And when he was hearing, he got attached to her. He said, now I want to get her. And therefore, he went to the forest and he tried to take help from Marichi, the deer, and then kidnapped Mother Sita. And although, like you said, Ravan had everything. He had Mandodari, who was the chaste wife, so much dedicated to Ravan. He had good wife, he had a Lanka of gold, so much money he had, so many servants he had. What you need in life? Good wife, money, house, good kids he had, Indrajit. What else do you need? Nothing. But still he was distracted. So that is a lesson for us, because sometimes we may also act as Ravan. We may have everything in our life, but just with the wrong advertisement, wrong association, we may get distracted. Unsatisfied, yes. And one of the main reasons for becoming unsatisfied is being ungrateful. When we are not grateful for what we have, we are not happy with what we have. We are always thinking more, we are greedy, and we think whatever we have is not sufficient. So if we are grateful, that actually helps us a lot, counting our good fortune and good things that we have. So
I think one of the reasons, maybe that deep inside, he wanted to
Yeah. That is the internal reason that this was all plot. He was, the Jai Vijay. So they had took 3 lives as Ravan and Hiranyakashipu and Shishupal. Yes. So yeah, that is internal reason, Prabhu. I am just giving the external reason also. At the end of the day, everything is Leela, Ram Leela. Lord Ram designed that Leela.
What was his
So-
confess when he was dying?
Who?
The Ravana confess. I don't know.
What did he confess?
Yeah, when he was dying.
When he was dying, I haven't heard anything that he confessed anything. But
Lord Krishna.
no, he was not. He did not surrender. But ultimately, since he was killed with the hands of Lord Ram, so he still got the highest destination, Vaikuntha, Lord's abode. He went, and when he died, then he asked his brother Vibhishan to do the last rituals, the last rites, cremation ceremony for Ravana. Then Vibhishan said, "No, I will not do that. He was such a big rascal. He kidnapped your wife and he was unethical. He should have, Then Lord Ram said, no, you have to hate the disease, not the diseased. You can disapprove somebody, but you cannot disowe anyone. If you have some problem, if someone is doing something wrong, but doesn't mean you totally disowe them. We just disapprove. He said ultimately his soul is gone, whatever he has done. Now if you do the rites, then his soul will be elevated to higher planets, right? That is the Shraddha ceremony. Yes, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
I have a few tiny questions about Jai and Vijay.
Yeah.
Jai and Vijay were the portals for the supreme abode of Lord Vishnu, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and they took birth as Ravan, as
Kumbhakaran, Hiranyaksha, yeah.
and
Ravan, Kumbhakaran,
and
Shishupal and Dantavakra.
okay, but also Kali Purusha is Jai or Vijay, right?
No, so you mean
Kali Purusha and
Kalki Avatar, you means the one who will appear in Kali Yuga?
yeah, and Dwapara, Kali and Dwapara.
Kali, yeah, that is not incarnation of Jai Vijay.
What is the origin of Kali and Dwapara? They are not the...
Yeah, the Kali, so basically Kali Yuga appeared as a bull, when in the last Yuga, and that personified as Dharma, and Mother Earth was like a cow. So the Kali Yuga was trying to, kill Dharma and the bull, and also the cow was not happy with, whatever is going there. So then he asked, so yeah, anyways, so they are not related to Jai and Vijay. That's a totally different pastime.
Okay, but Dhritarashtra
Yeah.
and Sakuni, they are Kali Purusha and Dwapara?
They are not Kali Purusha, but I don't know what do you mean by Kali Purusha, but they are greed personified, they are, envy personified, they have so much of greed and envy.
Dhritarashtra is the personification of greed or Sakuni?
I don't know that. I don't know.
Because
They have everything, greed, envy, lust, anger, everything is there personified.
So-
You can't just say one.
So Dhritarashtra is the
Yeah.
personification of evil.
Yeah.
Dhritarashtra.
Yeah.
But Sakuni is a little bit higher. That's why he's not as low as Dhritarashtra, right?
I don't know that higher or lower. Yeah. But you can consider both had all these 6 different, lust, anger, greed, anger, illusion, envy. Both of them had that. Yeah, main thing is what we learn from them is, we should not be like them. That is the most important thing. Whether one was lower or one was higher doesn't really matter. We are not here to scale anybody.
Like those are the reasons which people has who are not connected to God.
Yeah.
That would make sense.
So the main thing is that for us the main important thing is we chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra so that it clarifies our heart, it clears our heart, Cheto Darpan Marjanam. It cleans the heart of all this dust of lust, anger, greed, envy, illusion accumulated for millions of births. So we chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, so that is the most important lesson that we have. Haribol. You have any more questions? Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So we'll have darshan at 8:15 and prasadam also. Probably we'll have it now or also afterwards.
So we're going to have Aarti, right?
Yeah, 8:15. Yeah. Thank you.
I mean, please continue at the end. I mean, you finished?
Yeah, no, if you ask question if you have anything. Yeah.
Well, I ask everyone. Like,
Yeah, sure.
God created us, right?
Yeah.
Lord Krishna created the soul spirit. So I have confused on like why he created this world and asked us to do our duty here. Why not we went to Vaikuntha already on his feet and do duty there?
Very good question. So the question is that why did God created us and sent us here instead of keeping us with him in his abode, say Golok Vrindavan or Vaikuntha, so that we are there, right? So the answer is that actually we were there with him, but while Krishna was enjoying, so we also wanted to enjoy separate of Krishna. We said, Krishna, we also want to enjoy, and just like you are getting all the worship and everything, I also want to become like you and enjoy. So then Krishna has to fulfill our desire. So basically the only thing that we have in our hand is to desire. If we desire something, then actually Krishna hears it, and based on our sincerity, Krishna reciprocates. Ye yathamam prapadante tam tatev bhajamiham. So Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, to the degree you surrender to me, to that degree I will reciprocate with you. So when we had that desire, so Krishna says, okay, if you have to enjoy, then this place is created for you. So there are so many different planets, so many different species. That's why you have 8,400,000 species of life, 9 lakh species in water, and then 400,000 species of human beings are there, and then insects are there. So based on our desire, we got that body. This is just like a covering, and we are actually the soul. And then we are enjoying here. So just like a child, if I have a 7-year-old son, if he asks me, Dad, I want to drive a car, your car, and do you think I can let him drive my car? So what will I do is, I'll buy him a small toy car and said, okay, you drive this one. So God created all these things for us so that we can actually, be independent of him or enjoy whatever we want. So
we get distracted in material world.
Yeah, so we are in this material world. And because we have forgotten our relationship with Krishna, that actually I have to be with you, but since I wanted to enjoy separate of you, that's why I am here.
Oh, we are done yesterday.
Yeah.
Time after 8.
Oh, I see. Yeah.